Nominees and 3 bills on the agenda. 2 of the bills have been listed for the first time and will be held over. S 3538, the Earn It Act, which we've passed before in this committee. It's sponsored by Senator Lindsey Graham and Dick Blumenthal, myself, and others, Senator Grassley, Feinstein, Cornyn, Whitehouse, Hawley, Hirono, Kennedy, and Blackburn. And S 3103, eliminating limits to justice for child sex abuse victims. I introduced this bill with Senator Blackburn. It's co-sponsored by Senators Feinstein, Cornyn, and Leahy. I look forward to voting on both of these important bills next week. The committee has historically played a vital role in protecting kids from sex abuse and exploitation. With these bills, we'll continue to do so on a bipartisan basis. A number of the nominees have been listed for the first time, will not be voted on today, will be held over at the request of the minority. They include Andre Mathis for the Sixth Circuit, Jessica Clark for the Southern District of New York, Hector Gonzalez for the Eastern District of New York, Fred Slaughter for the Central District of California, and Andrew Foyce to be chair of the Administrative Conference of the U.S. I understand we can voice vote the 2 nominees to the Privacy and Civil Liberties Oversight Board, which we'll do shortly before turning to the bill. I want members, if they would, to pay notice and attention to what I'm about to say. We are holding over 2 U.S. Attorney and 2 U.S. Marshal nominees. Marissa Durbin, U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Ohio. Delia Smith, U.S. Attorney for the District of Virgin Islands. Eddie Frizzell to be U.S. Marshal for the District of Minnesota, and LaDon Reynolds to be U.S. Marshal for the Northern District of Illinois. These nominees have been held over at the request of Senator Cotton. These holds have nothing to do with the nominees and their qualifications, but they spring from a request which Senator Cotton made to the Justice Department on Monday, related to an ongoing litigation matter. Senator Cotton demanded a response to his letter within 24 hours, or he would delay consideration of these law enforcement officials. Senator Cotton, of course, has that right under the rules of the committee. But let me make 3 brief points. First, the fact that you have the right to do this is not exactly a rationale for doing it when you consider the consequences. I would remind my colleagues that it's a departure from this committee's norms and traditions to hold over U.S. Attorney and U.S. Marshal nominees. Now, we've done it. Democrats have done it. During the 4 years of the Trump administration, Democrats held over 3 U.S. Attorney nominees and 2 U.S. Marshal nominations temporarily. Already this Congress, though, including today's request, Republicans have held over 2 U.S. Marshal nominees and 8 U.S. Attorney nominations. I don't believe that serves the interest of justice. Second, the request to hold over Ms. Durbin, Ms. Smith, Chief Frizzell, and Chief Reynolds deprives the people of Ohio, the Virgin Islands, Minnesota, and Illinois of critical Senate-confirmed law enforcement leadership. I'm honored to represent Illinois. I'm especially honored to represent the great city of Chicago. But we are in pain and suffering at this moment in this city and many cities that you represent because of gun violence and crime and death. I could recount to you just what I've read in the last week in the newspapers of Chicago, the reports of the murders and killing and shootings that are going on every single day. Now, I know that 75% or more of law enforcement, we rely on state and local sources. But for God's sake, we have a part in this, an important part in this, making sure that there are U.S. attorneys to prosecute those who are breaking the law, making sure there are U.S. Marshals to administer justice and law enforcement at the most basic and fundamental level. I promise to my state and to the city of Chicago to do everything I can to marshal these federal resources. And I come into the committee that I chair and have someone holding up an individual who wants to be the U.S. Marshal in the Northern District of Illinois. So what's wrong with Chief Reynolds? Well, I can tell you, he's been the police chief of Oak Park, Illinois for 28 years. Nothing is wrong with this man. He's extremely well qualified. It's one thing to give speeches on the floor about how much we respect law enforcement, but then to diss this poor man who wants only to serve his country as U.S. Marshal at this moment in a time of high crime is just indefensible. Chief Reynolds has outstanding qualifications. He needs to be on the job. He would fill a vacancy that was never filled under the previous administration. It's been since 2018, since we've had a U.S. Marshal. If anyone, Republican or Democrat, truly cares about preventing crime as they claim, we should vote on these 4 nominees today. Get them confirmed on the floor as quickly as possible. Make this routine to show that we are, on a bipartisan basis, willing to fight crime. Third, I would note that during the Trump administration, the Justice Department constantly stonewalled Democratic attempts at oversight. Yet Democrats did not respond by needlessly delaying the committee or the Senate's consideration of U.S. attorneys and U.S. Marshals, who together represent the chief federal law enforcement officials in their respective district. Again, I plead with members of this committee, do not, at the expense of innocent people who are being victimized by crime every single day, exercise your political right and deny law enforcement at the federal level to the people that we represent. I plead with you, let us return to the regular order. If you're unhappy with the response from the Department of Justice on anything, please tell me. I'll do my best to try to make sure that it's expedited. But don't hurt innocent people because of your frustration with anything coming from the Department of Justice. We're going to vote today on 2170, the Bipartisan Open App Markets Act. And before speaking on the bill, I want to turn to the ranking member for his remarks.
Yeah.